Last time, the search witnessed a new twist in this intriguing drama. 2 instead of 1 contestant took the judges' bullets to discontinue the race. In a combination of voting results and the judges' verdicts, Hilda, the 21-year-old graduate of Madonna University, led her team to the battleground and came out the losers, while Tracy, though belonged to the winning team, fell out of the competition for polling the lowest votes. The numbers further decimated to 6 candidates who are still battling for the baton. Today on the show, contestants brace up for another week of challenge. First day as usual, contestants get the task for the week.
Okay, good morning, dear housemates. I hope you all were able to rest after last night's eviction. That was hard. Last week was quite demanding and challenging for you. I agree, I suppose. Yes. This week's task is slightly different from the past weeks, as all the trainings you have gathered through the weeks will play a major role in accomplishing your task. You will be running an actual recording and setting up real panelists. This week's challenge. The prevalence of child abuse in Nigeria is on the rise daily with little or no attention given to it. The question remains, how do we nip the bud against this issue that is gradually becoming an epidemic? How can the victims be assured safety so they are confident to speak out in order for the perpetrators to be uncovered and end this cyclical chain of abuse? Remember, even though you will be appraised individually, it is still a team effort.
The contestants will apply everything in the book to impress the judges.
I'm trying to paint the whole thing in my head. Don't worry.
Given that they have not led before, leadership of the teams automatically falls on Ibukun and Blessing. It is a case of 2 blessings here, as Ibukun also means blessing in English. At the end of this challenge, whose blessings will be more? Both pick their members in the usual tradition. Ibukun has Charles, who she will be working with for a consecutive 3rd time, and Sandra, who also happens to be working with either of them for the first time. Blessing's team has Damilola and Dakbo, her leader in a previous group. The day ends as both teams try to interpret the content of the task sheet. Not carefully analyzing what the task sheet said last week led to disaster for Hilda and her group. The search house plays host to a visitor, Mrs. Dupe Adebambo. Dupe emphasizes to the contestants the gravity of the issue and their expected role in driving home the message. They must proffer solutions on how to combat child abuse by designing a model that will work.
Some of the statistics shows that 1 out of every 4 girls in Nigeria is likely to experience sexual abuse before the age of 18. And 1 out of every 10 boys is likely to experience sexual abuse as well before the age of 18. Now, those statistics are very alarming and tells me that there's so much work to be done. But we have very few people who are aware of these facts and, sensitive to it and doing something, being proactive about preventing abuse of children, particularly sexual abuse of children. Now, my task for you is very simple. I need you to come up with solutions, possible solutions on how we can pass the message across to the public, particularly parents, how to educate them, sensitize them about the types of abuse that can happen to children. I'm also trying to see how we can let them understand the indicators, you know, how they can identify when a child is at risk or a child has been abused, and also how to manage children who have been exposed to one form of abuse or another.
Fired up by the session, Ibukun's team swings into action, choosing an angle of the task with the title Child Abuse, Prevention and Protection.
We'll deal with child abuse on its own, we'll deal with the protection, we'll deal with the prevention.
They dissect the issues of panelists, anchor, vox pop, and so many possibilities for the task execution. Will their strategies lead to success? On the other side of the fence, Blessing and her team are not laid back. They are taking appropriate action and carefully working the details. Their own topic is understanding and combating child sexual abuse in Nigeria.
But the awareness thing now are things we're meant to discuss. In the general discussion, there should be, they should be able to point out at one or two things that they can do.
Acting on their deliberations, the team hits the street. A visit to Warif Center, Yaba, a shelter home for the victims of abuse, is an ideal choice for the team. Disappointingly, they eventually have no access to the facility.
We've been told to hold on because the CEO is not in country. So we're trying to get an approval through the center manager, Miss or Mrs. Adetutu. She was a very receptive young woman, yeah, and we hope to get a positive response from her when she comes back to us.
Rather than giving up, the team utilizes the day in recording their Vox Pop session.
The child abuse is caused when the children has too much freedom, when it's not yet time.
If you have been harassed or been into it, you should talk about it, so they'll look for a solution.
Kids and children of nowadays need to be talked to about sex, and then I think they need to have more idea of it.
There should be aggressive enlightenment on the entire society on how to handle this issue.
So far, everybody has gotten better. The lectures, the sessions, really rubbed off on most, I would say, all of us, and a lot. We've all gotten better.
Day 3 sets off with another facilitator, Mr. Praise Fowowe.
Good to see you. Praise.
Sandra.
Nice meeting you. Good to see you. How you guys doing?
Trainer of family systems, who has authored several books on family matters and girl-child abuse. Mr. Fowowe links child abuse to prostitution.
For you to be able to spread your laps day in, day out for 11 men to sleep with you means that something has gone wrong with your identity. Because if you have lost touch with yourself, you will misbehave. So an average prostitute, they are poor, but it's not a money problem because there are people who are poorer than them. It's an identity problem. What abuse takes away from you is takes away your identity. It takes away who you are, your person.
He gives insight into the recent dynamics in child sexual abuse, which now include minors abusing minors. His practical ways and methods of engaging the topic, covering ages 18 months to 18 years, are quite insightful.
Sexual abuse is when, now this is global definition, but I'll give you another definition, is when the vulnerability of a minor is taken advantage of by a major to derive sexual satisfaction. But the recent definition is when the vulnerability of a minor is taken advantage of by a major or a fellow minor to derive sexual satisfaction, because now we have more children molesting children, right? So before now, you'll tell a child, oh, don't talk to an adult, right? But now we have more children.
To add more spice to their eventual delivery, Blessing's team shoots an advert.
Action.
Subsequently, they head to Mr. Fowe's office to interact with a victim of sexual abuse for a real-life perspective.
Society has not been helpful. Because by the time you talk about it, number one, people start looking at you like, that's the girl that was raped. As if you're at fault. So they make you feel that you were at fault. Nobody's pointing out who raped you, who touched you, what they did wrong. Everybody's pointing at you and saying, what were you doing there too? And why were you in his room? I'm wondering as a child why I should not relate to my supposed uncle. I would not see any reason why he would give me gifts and I should not accept it. So society has not helped.
Whether this move will play out in their favor or not is not guaranteed. Equipped with the facts, the team yearns for more. From here, they head to Love Home Orphanage at Magodo, Shangisha, Lagos. There, they have access to the facility, but Lagos laws forbade cameras in the place.
A clean and serene environment. And we saw some of these children, they looked well taken care of. We learned one or two things that is going to help our presentation tomorrow.
Some kilometers away, Ibukun and her team have also rolled up their sleeves, getting down to business. They're also meeting with a young victim for an interview.
The hardest part of producing Assure Yourself with my team members was sourcing for panelists. It was, a lot of people bailed on us, like they would give their word, okay, we'll be available. And then 2 hours later, they're saying, I'm sorry, I went under the weather. And then I have a court case in Ibadan. Oh, I have a case so-and-so place. Oh, I have an appointment here. So it was...
They also record their Vox Pop session.
We can stop giving our children to another person that is not their mother, so that there will not be child abuse, so that will not be maltreating them.
You can stop child abuse by home training. Let the child eat good food, and the child should stop hugging on the road so that the child may not be abused.
Child abuse is by sending one child to one place to another without not giving the child food.
Child abuse is using sending child around, like sending them for human trafficking, child trafficking, sending them to another country, selling them around to everybody and selling their bloods.
To wrap up the day, they head to Rave TV Complex in Ilupeju for post-production of all their materials. They divide into cohesive units. Ibukun on voiceover with the help of studio engineers, while Charles and Sandra are busy surfing the web for additional information.
Think you've seen it all? Try other unique flavors. Texas barbecue, sour cream onion, cheese and onion, hot and spicy. Just because we love variety. Pringles, you just don't eat them.
Production is not easy. Being behind the camera is a lot of work. Today I was in production. I was in whoa, okay, this is what happens behind the camera. Amazing. Hello everyone, my name is Charles Bourne. Simply text IOWA Charles to 33123. Please get your friends to text, your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, all your family members, get them to text for me. This is really serious. God bless you as you do that. Remain bonkified.
Hello everyone, my name is Damilola Busari. I need your help though to help the ministry move to the permanent site. Could you please text IOWA Damilola to 33123. Tell your friends, your foes, your families, spread the word, and I'll be so glad to receive your support as we win together. Thank you so much.
Hey everyone, I need you to text IOWA blessing to 33123 to keep me in the house. And don't forget to tell a friend about it. Tell them to tell their friends about it until the whole world have voted for me. See you at the finish line. Bye.
Hello people, my name is Dakbo Adegboye. I need you to vote by sending IOWA Dakbo to 33123. Let's win this. Yes, we can. Yes, we have. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I am Ibukun Adesoye. I need you to keep showing me this love and support by keeping me in the house and eventually winning this competition. How can you do that, you ask? All you have to do is text IOWA Ibukun to 33123. Thank you in advance as we win this together. Love you so much. Mwah.
Hello everyone, my name is Sandra Eze. I need your help at this point. So all you have to do to vote and keep me in here, and of course winning the competition, is just text IOWA Sandra, first name Sandra, to 33123. Thank you so much, and please spread the word, get your family and friends and every other person, the random person on the road, get them to vote. Thank you.
Finally, presentation day, the moment when all acquired knowledge will be put to use. Unlike never before, they are to use real panelists with a live studio audience. As specified in the task sheet, they're to share roles as anchors, audience coordinators, and resource persons for panel setups. They are gradually turning into full-blown television producers, all in the bid to mirror the same format Agatha has laid out on Inside Out in the last 2 decades. The presentations get underway.
Today we are looking at understanding and combating child abuse in Nigeria. And straight to the business of the day, I'm going to start with you, Emmanuel. You work with the Child Protection Unit of the Ministry for Youth and Social Development. I'm right? Okay, so I would like you to give us an exact definition of child abuse and child sexual abuse.
In a sense, all forms of violence against children, you know.
Could you speak up, sir?
Okay, fine. Child abuse is quite broad and encompassing, all right? So it basically looks at anything that you do that, you know, affects the child, all right, and cuts across violence and abuse as a whole, neglect, and of course exploitation. So that's, you know, you kind of bring them under these 4 elements, you know, but then if you use the word abuse, it's also synonymous with the other 3. So basically, abuse is, well, you know, is the one that is forward and spoken about basically, but then it covers any kind of violence, be it physical, you know, emotional, sexual.
We have a lot of things we can look at that child. First of all, a child that is sexually abused, we have some marks, because when they want to abuse her, it was not him or her. Yes. It was not through her consent. She was forced to be abused. So there may be some mark on her face. Am I communicating? Yes, 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 the person may bite the child in order to have his or her way. So you will see a lot of marks.
What about in the child's behavior? Won't there be changes?
There will be depression.
My dear, it's like we are in the animal farm.
Okay, in what way do you mean?
It's like we are in the jungle.
Okay, how does it affect, how does it encourage child abuse?
Yes. It encourages child abuse in several ways.
Okay.
Because, when we are suffering from the popular language is used now, recession,
Okay.
which is another word for, deep poverty.
Okay.
You will find out that the child will be denied a lot of
Thanks.
things. And that will lead that child to demanding things from strangers, even strangers.
I was asked to do the presenting. And believe me, that was my first presenting ever. That was the first time I would ever present. And having to do it with a live audience was very, very, was something that got me nervous.
This is Inside Out. My name is Sandra Eze, and today on the show we're discussing combating child abuse in Nigeria. As is our tradition on this show, I am not alone. I do have my panelists who we are so grateful to have you here. Starting first of all with Mrs. Dupe Adebambo, who is Head of Child Protection under the Ministry of Youth, Social Development, Lagos State.
Good evening.
And I have Mr. Tunji Babajide, a psychotherapist, life coach, and COO of Awesome Effects Consulting Lekki.
Good to be here.
Finally, Mrs. Kemi Tony Akinwumi, who is from Lead Consultant, Pasture Counseling Center, Family Life Practitioner. Thank you for having me. First of all, give us a basic education of what child abuse is, because a lot of people don't know.
Thank you. Well, essentially, what we have seen in that video, for me, is a bit alarming, because I just saw again, I'm reminded again that a lot of people don't know what exactly child abuse is. Yes, they gave examples of some of the things that can happen, but it's just a fraction of what really child abuse is. It's abuse can happen in different forms. It can be physical, it could be emotional, it could be sexual, it could be neglect, and of course, exploitation.
One of the reasons is lack of enlightenment. A lot of people still don't know that they are actually abusing children, just like Mrs. Dupe said, that it can actually happen within the family. Particularly sexual abuse. Sexual abuse is any sexual activity between an adult and a child, or between a child of the same sex or of the same age, or between an older child or a younger child, when they have sexual activity that is not proper.
And after recording, gets sent to the judges for assessment.
This was the first time I happened to work with Sandra. And she, as much as she's fantastic, she could be a little bit, what's the word now, autocratic. She has valid points, she makes valid bullet points, but she wants to be heard.
I'm quite a challenging person to work with, honestly, because I have a lot of opinions, and I see things from different angles, which I like to point out, but not that I'm a difficult person. Because I'm always picking out one thing or the other, yeah, I may have made them they may have been like, God, shut up, shut up.
It's a day before eviction, and contestants wake up to a special gift of cake from Exotic Cakes, one of the supporting brands.
Buy Exotic Cakes.
As the eviction night draws close, looking glam for the judges is also a part of the mix. Contestants head to Nature's Gentle Touch, another brand supporting the show, where they are given fresh looks. As they look forward to the dreaded meeting with the judges, contestants review the week's experience on their task executions and their expectations on the eviction night.
I'm really hoping we all make it in my group because I feel we all put in so much work.
I think we came really close to what an ideal inside out should be. We came really close. So I would give my team a 7 or 8. 8.
I think we did pretty good. I'll give us an 8 or a 9. We can't be perfect, but hey, we did our best.
And I hope the judges would, will rule in my favor. And I really thank Dr. Andami for taking the risk of letting me do the hosting of today's show. Everything went well.
Here comes the big day. The Rave TV studio is the battle arena, and each team has sharpened their blades, ready for the assault. Judging tonight are Mrs. Dupe Adebambo, Lekon Ogumbanwo, and Agatha Amata. Tonight, one or some contestants are leaving. With these judges, nothing is certain.
Nice to see you guys.
Same here.
How was the week?
It was good.
Eventful.
Fun.
I was commending all the hairstyles. You guys are looking very... It shows that natural hair can last too.
Thanks to Nature's Gentle Touch.
The real business of the day begins.
For the panel, we decided to have a human rights activist who is someone on the field, actually being a voice for people in that kind of, what's it called? And then we wanted to have a child counselor, and we decided to have someone from the government, someone from her office. And lastly, we wanted a victim who is now a survivor. We wanted a male victim to be on seat. The male angle is something that people don't get to see or hear about. So we wanted a male, but we weren't able to. And then we did the recording for the female, and she was very, very open. I was shocked at the thing.
We were all shocked.
I was. Dami was like, "Blessing, what's wrong with you? Relax now." She says, during the interview.
And she wasn't shy at all.
She wasn't.
She let go.
She wasn't.
Was that a surprise for you?
Yes, that someone would be bold enough to speak out on a very sensitive topic as this. Dami was the resource person, and Dapo handled the Vox Pop and every other recording.
How did you decide who to do what? That's my question.
We had an audition for the presenter, and I and Dapo came out for it, and Dami decided I should take the...
We came up with different topics, like 5 topics, and eventually ended up sticking with combating child abuse in Nigeria, because we felt we need to talk about the preventive measures on child abuse. Assigning roles. Charles, he said he wanted to be in charge of Vox Pop, so okay, you do that. I asked Sandra, what would you want to do? Would you feel okay presenting? And she said, okay. So we already assigned roles to each and every one of us. I was in charge of resource person and audience coordination. I made a call to the president of the fan club. Unfortunately, we were the first group to present, and we didn't get the audience we wanted. So we had to make do with the ones we did. Resource persons, we called a lawyer, signed, still delivered until the morning he told us, I can't make it. We also had a psychologist. We wanted a police officer, and we didn't get a police officer, unfortunately. We wanted a victim, a survivor. Unfortunately, we couldn't bring her, and then we had to go over to where she was.
Then, Lekon asks what each team could have done better given the chance to correct anything. Both teams respond.
We would try and find a survivor that was courageous enough to stand in front of the audience.
Maybe a male survivor.
The male survivor?
Yes, to complement that of the female.
Now it's time for the judges' appraisals.
Team Blessing, your topic was understanding and combating child sexual abuse.
Child abuse.
Okay, but you focused more on the sexual abuse. Very good, because that was what I expected from you. However, I have a couple of observations concerning your presentation. First thing, I'm not sure that I was very comfortable with your choice of panelists, considering the topic that you were treating. A child psychologist, beautiful, but requesting for an activist to be on the panel, I'm not sure I was comfortable about that. My major problem with your presentation was the fact that the interview you did with the survivor, the identity of the survivor was not protected. When it comes to issues like this, very sensitive, and this is one of the things that we're trying to deal with the media. When a survivor comes to tell a story, even when the survivor gives consent, I expected that you would have known through your research that the identity of the survivor must be protected. You should have blurred the face. Even if you didn't blur the voice, the face should not have been. And then the name was mentioned fully. That was my major problem with that video and your presentation. Sandra, you were a joy to behold. I just fell in love with the way you did your presentation. You were in charge. You were in control. At the same time, you gave your audience and the panelists, the floor. But you knew just when to cut off. Your choice of audience, I was very impressed. Because I also noticed that you went out of your way to look for a social worker, whom I recognized in that video. It gave me the impression that you went out of your way to do your research and to do the proper interviews that was connected with the topic that you were treating. Okay, and that gave it to me. It gave you an edge. So I was able, I could connect with your total package.
Team Blessing, I loved your handling of the topic. I loved the fact that you brought a survivor. I concur with Dupe Adebambo on the fact that you should have blurred the identity, even if the person wanted it exposed. That particular footage lifted your presentation. That's the overall team effort for me. What killed the group presentation was Blessing. Your audience, even in the studio, you wanted to address your studio audience, and then you backed your panelists. Why? I saw that as an example of you being carried away. Okay? Team Ibukun. Sandra, when you find yourself anchoring, always have great presence of mind. Every anchor person, right, is as good as the last mistake he or she made. You cannot stand before your audience and be saying that, okay, you, my studio audience, you've been wonderful, my panelists, fantastic, and you who is watching at home, you killed it. What do you mean by that? You who is watching at home. No, you can say that when you're talking with your high school class, but once you're on TV, you understand me. People who watch you at home learn from you.
I watched it several times once again because I kept asking myself, what do I judge based on? Do I judge it based on the anchor person or the subject matter? That was my dilemma. Like, okay, what am I really looking for? Who am I looking at, or what am I looking at? So I'm going to start with Team Blessing. I loved your treatment of the topic in terms of communicating with the man on the street. I love the fact that you talk to children, and as the children were talking, I was remembering that it's true, they play mommy and daddy. You were saying things that everybody sitting at home could identify with. I played mommy and daddy, and I didn't think there was any child abuse. I got a lot of stuff off your vox pop from children. That for me was brilliant. That's the fastest way to send the message across, such that if I see any child who is doing mommy and daddy, I will remember immediately. There were a lot of things that the children said that registered and would stay for a while. I liked your panelist apart from the, what was that man? Activist. He didn't communicate anything. I was sitting down listening to him and wonder, okay, so what's he supposed to be saying? But I would say that your team communicated more with the man on the street for me. And then interviewing that survivor. Now, unlike the professionals, I thought it was beautiful to see somebody who is not ashamed. I don't know what the professional, I don't know. I would have, if she agreed to show her face, I would show her face in a heartbeat. Because for me, the effect of that one person on a lot of people going through it, money cannot buy it. It will give a lot more people the courage to come out. For Inside Out, most definitely I will do it. I won't blow any face. So I'm not going to agree on that from a non-professional. I'm not. If it was just based on that alone, I will give that topic to you. Now, Anchor. She forgot to introduce herself even. You didn't even say who you were. You just started talking. You looked nervous. You looked like you didn't belong there. You looked... Why was that child standing beside you? Just asking.
You know, just to spice
we don't put statues on Inside Out. They must have a reason. I was waiting. I thought you were going to do an intro with her. I saw a child, and the next thing you go on a break, and I'm like, so why was she there? The girl looked even more nervous than you. I didn't get it. I didn't. Why did you think that was a good idea?
Since the topic is more about children, so I felt if she stood beside me to spice some things up.
Then she should have said something. You know, I was watching it and I was feeling sorry for you. The way you were coming across, like we should pity you. Because you were, is there anybody else who will have, okay, you didn't own the program. Now, Sandra, of course, you already know that you are confident when it comes, oh, by the way, I love the way you handled the Vox Pop. You gave me new ideas. That was brilliant. I like the people they talk to better, but your handling on point, on fleek too. Okay, so let's get that sorted. Of course, you know you own your space, you know how to carry yourself and all of that. I have a problem though. Your handling of the topic. If I'm not her or him, I'll switch off. That's my problem. It looked more like you were talking to a certain level of people. Like the viewer has to be at a certain level to get it. When it comes to confidence, your panelists and all of that, everything was on point. But it was talking only to one class of people. You want to treat a topic that even if a child is watching it, the child will get something. If a housewife who is a primary school holder is watching, she should take something away. That is the nature of the issue you are dealing with. You had valid points, you had your statistics, but you did not communicate with the person who is here. You communicated with the people who are here. Depending on who is watching, some people will think you were brilliant and some people will not send you at all, depending on who is watching. And that's not supposed to be the case. The case is that anybody who is watching for such a topic should be able to identify with somebody on that panel, should be able to see themselves or hear something that they can relate to, either from your story. You should be able to bring something back that would connect. That was what was missing for me.
All said and done, the judges deliberate and declare the winning team.
So I looked at the anchor. For Team Blessing Anchor, I scored you 1. For your team, I scored you 3. Resource person for panel setup, because of that man, I scored you 1. I scored you 2. For Vox Pop, fantastic, I gave you 3. I gave you 1. Now, audience coordination, I gave you 1. Give them 1 as well, because you both did not coordinate your audiences well. You should have milked them for more information and better integration. Right now, treatment of the topic, I gave you 3. If I looked past your presentation, your anchoring, fantastic, I gave you 1. If I added everything up, you get 9, you get 8. I'm sorry, I'll vote them.
From my perspective, I think Sandra, I keep calling Sandra Blessing. Sandra did a good job as far as I'm concerned. For Team Blessing, I wouldn't choose you as my winning team, because for me, your presentation wasn't on point. Your video recording of the survivor, I have issues with that. But I feel that you did a good job with the topic. Then again, your choice of panelists, I wasn't comfortable with yes, because I didn't understand the connection or the relevance of an activist on that kind of panel. And the audience was not quite coordinated as far as I'm concerned. So that would be my reason for not going with your team.
Lekon gives it to Team Blessing, while Mrs. Adebambo gives it to Team Ibukun. The tension in this room gets more palpable. If you can't stand the heat, stay out of the kitchen. Only Agatha's vote can break the tie.
Hello everyone, my name is Charles Bourne. Simply text IOWA Charles to 33123. Please get your friends to text, your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, all your family members, get them to text for me. This is really serious. God bless you as you do that. Remain bonkified.
Hello everyone, my name is Damilola Busari. I need your help though to help their ministry move to the permanent site. Could you please text IOWA Damilola to 33123. Tell your friends, your foes, your families, spread the word, and I'll be so glad to receive your support as we win together. Thank you so much.
Hey everyone, I need you to text IOWA Blessing to 33123 to keep me in the house. And don't forget to tell a friend about it. Tell them to tell their friends about it until the whole world have voted for me. See you at the finish line. Bye.
Hello people, my name is Dakbo Adegboye. I need you to vote by sending IOWA Dakbo to 33123. Let's win this. Yes, we can. Yes, we have. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I am Ibukun Adesoye. I need you to keep showing me this love and support by keeping me in the house and eventually winning this competition. How can you do that, you ask? All you have to do is text IOWA Ibukun to 33123. Thank you in advance as we win this together. Love you so much. Mwah.
Hello everyone, my name is Sandra Eze. I need your help at this point. So all you have to do to vote and keep me in here, and of course winning the competition, is just text IOWA Sandra, first name Sandra, to 33123. Thank you so much, and please spread the word, get your family and friends and every other person, the random person on the road, get them to vote. Thank you.
I think that whenever you do a team task, you must always put your best foot forward. You must. You may never get the opportunity to do it again. It's better to keep putting your best foot forward until you get to the finals where whatever will go, will go. And so if I'm going to do that, if I'm going to base it on that, I'm going to give it to Team Ibukun. As an inside-out topic, I'd rather give it to you. But your handling as an anchor person was...
Agatha also gives it to Team Ibukun, and that calms the already tense atmosphere. Ibukun has led her team to victory in this challenge. On the other hand, Blessing and her team swallow a bitter pill as the losers. The unfolding scenario between the two blessings is getting more engaging.
The show must go on, so please stand up.
Coming under the spotlight is never a wish for anyone. As a tradition, the tough choice of nominating your team members falls on Blessing and her co-travelers as they stand trial. Perhaps from the lesson of last week, nomination this week is a more straightforward process.
Blessing Damilola.
You're nominating Blessing and Damilola.
Blessing and Dapo.
Blessing?
Oh, Blessing and Damilola.
Well, Blessing's name has appeared thrice, so she stands properly nominated for eviction.
Blessing has the most nominations for eviction. Then, the judges pull out the wild card of the week's voting results.
Voting results, we agreed last week that online votes will go 50%, remember? But I'm going to read it as it is. So, with the highest number of votes this week is Damilola Busari.
Damilola polls the highest votes for the week, whilst Ibukun, leader of the winning team, records the lowest and is also summoned to the stage.
Now, the contestant with the least number of votes from the other team has to join. That is Ibukun Adesoye.
Are we likely to witness a repeat of Tracy's tragedy of the last episode? When we return, we'll see. For polling the highest votes this week, Damilola from the losing team is saved from the eviction list. While for polling the lowest, Ibukun, the leader of the winning team, is still entangled with the dilemma of facing eviction.
Tonight, one of you will go home. But before we get to that final point, I need each one of you to tell me why we should retain you if we had the powers so to do.
I want to be in the competition. I still want to be in the competition. I've learned so much. I have so much to offer. And if you give, I've been in the competition because of what I've been offering, and I believe that you won't be disappointed if you keep me in.
Why I want to remain is because I still know I still have a whole lot down there. You ain't seen nothing yet. So, and apart from that, I'm also very passionate about the youth especially. And I see this platform as one that would enable me give more.
I see myself getting better. I'm someone that learns fast, and I really have passion for this, and I know that if I'm given more opportunity, you would not believe what I will come up with.
To come up with their final verdicts, the judges ask all contestants to leave the studio.
Good presenter for some grassroots program kind of, but not. I don't think she has the presence.
She's not ready for that kind of thing yet.
No, I don't think so either.
What she can do is take her time, connect with her.
She still needs a lot of. First of all, she probably, if she's going to do anything now, she has to do it with a group of people. Yeah. She has to be on a panel.
She has to even start like a panelist.
She cannot own a show right now.
We have discussed, we've reviewed all three of you, and we've also come to a decision that for tonight,
and then Lekon triggers the final act.
We will take up Dapo 2, who said he's already stretched. Initially we thought, okay, this one that's already stretched, isn't there a limit to, there's a point of elasticity, after that it will break. But we thought, let's still see.
The contestant going tonight is not Dapo. Rather, taking the hit tonight is one of the two blessings.
Ibukun and Blessing, only one of you will remain there. Dapo, Ibukun, return to your seats.
This mother of one, Blessing Obi-Bakare, who came in as a replacement candidate a few weeks ago, finally bows out of the competition. Her lack of stage command, which is very key to Inside Out, is her Achilles heel. The search for the next phase of Inside Out continues. From over 500 entries, the number has now been reduced to 5.
I felt really sad because, if I eventually get evicted, it will not be because of my performance. It will be because my votes were low. So I was really hoping I will not go home. And thank God, I'm still in the house. Top 5, guys. Thank God.
I feel good. God has brought me this far. I'm not disappointed at all. It's just have to end here. But I've learned so many things that can never be taken away from me. So I'm not on the losing side. I met with wonderful people. I saw different kinds of people, the good, the bad, the ugly, and I was still able to have my head together.
Next week is the finals. The challenge gets tougher as the end draws closer. Who will emerge as the winner of this competition? Continue to vote for your favorite candidates to keep them in the competition. Send your SMS to 33123. 33123. Next time on The Search, it's a new task and it comes with its own challenge. Only the tough contestant will win. Who will be the next candidates to be evicted? See you next week.
This search song for you to know. Now you know. This search song. So, the search for a new face has begun. Do you have all it takes to be the one? Are you interested in presenting? You're passionate about it. You love people around you. Who knows? You may be the one. Yeah. Who knows? You may be the one. Don't wait a minute. Just grab the crown. It's yours. Yeah. This search is on for you to know. Now you know. Yeah.
Realizing potentials for the world to see. The best you got.
This search is on for you to know. Now you know. It's all about who is right. It's all about you. Yeah. It's search is set for you. You may be the one. It's search is set for you. You may be the one. Whether man or woman, whether woman or man, this search is set for you. You may be the one. I said this search is set for you. You may be the one. This search is set for you. You may be the one. Whether man or woman, whether woman or man, this search is set for you.